Listen, you guys. I'm going to give you a little quiz now. My guests today are backstage, and they are their own little crowd scene. I want you to take a look here. Now, can you guess who they are? Are they A, the Van Nuys chapter of Amway? B, an unsuccessful rap group called UB White? Or are they C, family members of the Lennon sisters? Now, if you said C, family members of the Lennon sisters, then you are correct. I'm talking about 4 gals that most of us grew up with. I mean, if you're like me at all, on Saturday night, the Lawrence Welk Show was mandatory viewing at our house. I always wanted to be Janet. For these ladies, it actually hasn't been all rosy and perfect by any means, and their image on the Welk Show was not really the reality. I think we should bring them out and do some catching up. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Lennon sisters, Peggy, Janet, Dee Dee, and Kathy.
Isn't that nice? We were just here a couple months ago, weren't we?
Were you?
So
It has
nice.
been,
It's been a while. Yeah.
It has been a while. But you know what? Really, in sort of researching this show, I couldn't believe that you guys, we have a lot in common, which probably all women in show business do, but you guys did it before we even knew there was television.
In early television, we really did. I mean,
You're sort of pioneer women.
Pioneer women, as us as children, and then growing up on television in everyone's home every weekend.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
13 years with Mr. Welk.
Yes.
At scale.
Well, that was Mr. Welk's policy. He went by the union rules, and that was his policy. We knew it was his policy. And later on, when we realized that we could sort of grow as women and go out and work a lot less days for a lot more money. We sort of made the transition. But,
and at that time, we had gotten married and had children of our own, and we decided that we would, you know, break away from that. And we did want to become women, too. It was a little bit difficult to grow up on that show. And people always expected to see Janet in braids. And the first time that she had her hair in a ponytail or pulled back or curled, they were shocked. So it was kind of hard to break away from being little girls until we broke away from the Lawrence Welk Show.
That had to be really frustrating, too,
Well, it was,
I mean, to become teenagers, not be able to sing the teenage songs.
I was a senior in high school. And of course, Janet was 9.
I was 9 when we started.
Well, I was a junior in high school when we started, but we would sing, at Easter time, we were singing dressed in little blue dresses, dancing around toadstools. And I went to school, and luckily my friends were really my friends because they laughed about it, but I did take some teasing.
And then, of course, and through the years, as we did grow up and people still thought of Janet as little Janet, would be having a little one, you know, and Mr. Welk, of course, at that time in television, you really didn't talk about being pregnant or they was with child or whatever.
Is that too hysterical? I went through this on the Burnett Show where I wasn't allowed to be pregnant.
Well, it was the type of thing that it was like a joke. Where are we going to hide the Lennons? Should we put them behind a gate? Should they hold a bouquet of flowers? A bush? And then all of a sudden, one week you'd say, and this is a picture of my new baby.
And it was a magical thing. And nobody knew where it came from.
You know, and it was,
or how you did it.
You went through this with Carol, too.
Well, yeah, I got laid off for a while in the Burnett Show because I was pregnant, and I said at the time, but Lucy went to a commercial break to have her baby.
That's right. That's right.
Really, didn't she? We have to take a break so I can have my child now. And we watched the whole pregnancy, and they said, well, yeah, but that was her show.
But that was different because she was married to Desi on the show and is married. I mean, it's like...
Well, yeah, and then I said, well, okay, how about Cher? She's in the next studio taping with her ex-husband pregnant with somebody else's child.
That was true.
Well, yes, but that's her show.
The Carol Burnett show.
And you guys, you know, were going through all this growing up stuff during the time when the Smothers Brothers was happening, and Cher and molds were changing. And
sure, when the 60s came around, I mean, we really wanted to do that new music. You know, when the Beatles came in and all that great music afterwards, we really wanted to perform that. We wanted to wear the mini skirts because we were still young and we loved to wear miniskirts. And that's about the time when we found, you know, Mr. Welk didn't want us to do that kind of music and would not let us wear the miniskirts.
Now, do you really...
I feel a lot of the time it was also, we would get from the audience, they didn't want us to grow up either.
That's what I was going to ask you.
And so
do you think your audience wouldn't have accepted you singing a Beatles song?
They accepted us when we ended up doing Andy Williams' show, and we did Andy's for 2 years, and we had our own television show. Then they accepted us doing the Beatles show, but on the Lawrence Welk show, his people kept us as little girls, and Mr. Welk kept us as little girls, and he believed in his audience. He listened to the manager of his building, who would come up in the morning and say, Mr. Welk, I'm not sure the girls' skirts were awfully short. And that would change the show. It would come in, you've got to lower your lengths, because the manager of the building thought so. He listened to the people. And you know, you can't fight with success. Look at what, you know.
But now didn't he let you girls wear bathing suits on the show one time?
Well,
the old-fashioned ones.
Yeah, they were the big balloony.
And at one point, we did have shorts. We wore, like, Bermuda shorts. And we were in Bermuda shorts sitting by, like, a pool. That was like the...
The Lennon sisters have knees.
And we got letters. And we did get letters.
No,
we got letters.
Did you really?
The Lennon sisters don't have legs.
You got adverse letters from people that were upset.
Yes. You don't dress that way when you're the Lennon sisters. And so, you know.
So how hard was it to leave? Was it a mutual decision? Who decided to...
It was tough. It was sad. It was time to move on. It was sad. It was sad for us to leave the whole concept of the Lawrence Welk show, and by that I mean the studio where we worked. When we began working with the Lawrence Welk show, ABC Studios didn't even have concrete. It was dirt and a couple of buildings, and we would go to work, and the guys in the carpenter shop would make us kites, and we'd fly them out in the back, and we had kittens under the stage that we could play with, and the engineers, we would go up with the electricians, and we'd pull the light things, and we were always up in the booths with the engineers and up on the cameras with the guys, because that was what you did. And at lunchtime, there was no place to go. There was no commissary, so we would brown bag it, and we'd put up a couple of light standards and a volleyball net. We'd play volleyball with the crew, or play basketball into the big trash cans. But then so leaving all of those people that were our really dear friends. I mean, we grew up with them. That was very hard.
And when we got married and had children of our own, we realized we didn't want to spend all that time at the studio.
Yeah. Now, when did you all get married on the Lawrence Welk show during that time that we were watching?
I think we did.
I did. But we were on over 13 years every Saturday night.
Right.
So yes, I guess we did.
Yes.
I guess
now,
we did.
how many marriages do we have between us? I'm in for 2.
I've got one. Boy.
You're one.
I'm in the hot seat right here. 2.
So
I'm in for 2, and Jen. And you know,
6, 8. There's 8 between us.
And you know what? That's another part of it, being the Lennon sisters and growing up on television. You live in a glass house, and you not only have to go through the pain of divorce, meaning marriage and family is everything to us and always was. That was instilled in us, and that's our base. And to go through that transition, not only in front of your friends and family with the pain that a divorce is, you go through it with the public eye, you know, maybe judging you. And that was very difficult for Janet and I to go through. And I don't know if that's how you feel about it, Vicki. Every movie, magazine, here, oh my gosh, wait a minute, the Lennon sisters who believe in marriage, look what happened. And that vow is the most important thing. And for us to go through it was quite difficult.
Especially after I got married first. I was the oldest of the 11 children. And I was the first one to get married, and I've been married 33 years. Well, I had a, childhood sweetheart, and I mean, it just happened that way. I mean, I was lucky. A lot of it is luck. And so then for them to see this and then to have things happen to them, it was very hard.
What kind of men do you look for?
One of the things that we said, people think of us as the Lennon sister. Like, we live in the same house, we do the same things. We're such 4 individual different people. Most people don't know that. But if you took a look at our husbands, then you'd know how different the 4 of us are, because each of our husbands is such an entirely different looking person, personality-wise. They're entirely different people.
And yet we all looked for almost the same thing, in that loving children, loving family, loving sports. And we all kind of had that same, because and a great sense of humor, because to live with our family, believe me, sense of humor.
You have to live with the family, right? Yeah. We have to take a little break now, but don't go anywhere, because we're going to talk to the Lennon sisters about how they managed to overcome a bizarre tragedy that changed their lives forever. We'll be back.
Would you be good enough to introduce yourself, the encore number?
All right. I'd like to introduce to you all my Uncle Bob. May I introduce my Uncle Pat? And I'd like to introduce my Uncle Ted. And I'd like to have you meet our daddy. We'd like to sing for you, Tumbling, Tumbling. See them tumbling down, pledging their love to the ground. Roaming the free I'll be found, drifting along with the tumble and tumbleweed.
You got mom's stuff, I got dad's. We're talking with the Lennon sisters today, one of the most popular and successful family groups in American history. Joining me are Peggy, Janet, Dee Dee, and Kathy. I think the general perception for most people is that you guys have had this rosy, perfect life, because you're always so adorable and smiling, and you know, and it has not been so. Is it still really painful to talk about what happened to your father?
You know, watching this film clip too, we didn't know it was going to be on, and that kind of surprised me to see Daddy and the uncles come on. But yes, it's a difficult thing, but it's something that happens many times in show business, and it's something that you say, oh, it happened in a movie. How could it happen to me? And the story
when did it happen?
It happened in August of 1969.
And Dad was murdered. We should clarify that. It's a very
there was a
strange story.
Demented fan, Lennon sister fan, who had written us for years and had felt that he was married to Peggy. And had gone and written letters saying, you know, I don't know why you're keeping me from my wife, et cetera, et cetera. He was so crazy, he came from an institution. He actually escaped from an institution, came and found where our dad was teaching golf, and shot and killed him. And Mom,
did you know that he was?
We knew who he was because of these strange letters.
Had you taken any precautions at all?
Yes, the FBI was aware of it, the police department, but unless he does something, they can't.
Yes, he had stalked the family really for 2 years, so we were on the alert for him, but he just...
But we just didn't know where this man, and Mom was then at home with 7 children under 18, and it was months before they found the man who did end up killing himself. But it's a tragedy that to experience something like that, because a dad is such a strong character in our life. Our mom and dad had such a loving, incredible relationship, an incredible example for all of us. And to have him all of a sudden taken from us, I must say, and we all would say, the strength of Mom and the faith in God that continued to bring us even closer, if possible, was Mom as a rock, just a rock, saying, Daddy doesn't want you to, you know, he's there for us, we'll all be together again, let's go on. And we have been able to do that. And the fans and people, the overwhelming love that came to us from everyone was just incredible.
Yeah, it's just such a bizarre story. It almost had to feel like a dream or an out-of-body experience.
And it happened the day after the Manson murders, so the whole weekend had been so bizarre anyway that it was like being in a real nightmare.
Good Lord.
So when people say, you know, oh, the Lennon sisters, and so often they go, nee, 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 you know, the Lennon sisters, and even when we wrote our autobiography, it's like, what do the Lennon sisters have to write? You know, they sang every week in the Lawrence Welk, they danced the polka, and, you know, we also
have
yes, but you keep smiling. How do you keep...
We're happy people.
We are happy.
Things can happen to you, and they do constantly.
Peggy, you've had a horrible year.
I have had a terrible year.
You have had a horrible year.
Yeah, but my husband died in November, and we'd been married almost 30 years.
And you met him on the
on a Lawrence Welk show. Yeah. Most marvelous trumpet player that you'll ever hear, jazz player. And if anybody out there remembers Pete Kelly's Blues, the Jack Webb movie, Dick played all the music. He was the trumpet, and he's a marvelous jazz player. And we have 6 children.
You were married how long?
Almost 30 years. And it's been a tough year. And then, of course,
just a few months ago, and she's incredible.
But you know something? It happens to everybody in the world. And you can't say, why me? It happens to everybody. And it's a very, very difficult thing.
That's where family is so important, when you have the security and the backing of your family always.
Yeah.
You know that when anything happens, you can go to any one of us or all of us, and you find that strength, a built-in support system.
How are you doing? Are you doing?
Sometimes I'm fine, and I'm sure anybody else who has been experiencing that. I need lots of time to cry, and I miss my very, very best friend, and we had an extraordinary relationship. We were so very, very close. So sometimes when I'm driving to rehearsals, or particularly when I'm in the car by myself, I can let myself cry, and I just really cry, and sometimes I even just boo-hoo-hoo-hoo, because I need to get it out. And it's difficult then dealing with all of my children and their grief, because Dick was sick for about 5 years, and for my daughters, they went all through high school not knowing if Daddy was going to be home or in the hospital, and then too, if Mommy was going to be home or in the hospital with Daddy. So they've been going through 5, 6 years of really a difficult time, and to try and be there for them, I have to sometimes hold back what I'm feeling, you know. So it's,
the kids are, what ages are the kids?
My children now are 19, 21, 24, 26, 28, 29.
Hard to keep track when you're so busy.
But I also have 3 of Dick's children that I raised from the time they were little, and they're wonderful. And,
so is it harder or easier with that many kids around, do you think?
Oh, it's easier. I always figured 3 was like the maximum you could take care of. You have 1 kid you hold here and 1 kid you hold here, right? If you can figure out what to do with that 3rd kid when you're walking down the street, you can take 10. You know?
So it's all downhill from there.
Yeah,
once you get past 3.
Once you get past 3, you can do anything.
Great.
That means what? Now what do you have to do?
I can't. Al's got his green card. We're finished. Time out here. Don't go anywhere, because we've got more from the Lennon sisters and a little surprise from their daughters too. So don't touch your clicker. We'll be back.
Hear the amazing story of a woman who died and lived to tell about it.
I saw a pinpoint of light, and I began to move feet first.
Vicki talks to best-selling author Betty J. Eady about her life and her afterlife.
Did you ever see God?
I saw him in a sense.
Plus a woman who reaches the afterworld every day. World-famous psychic Shar.
And Edward?
Yes.
Oh, did he upset you?
Yes.
On Vicki.
Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine heading my way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Mr. Bluebird on my shoulder. It's the truth, it's actual. Everything is satisfaction.
Well, toss out that bubble machine, because the Lennon sisters are finally going to sing a Beatles song. I believe my audience can handle this. Here are the lovely Didi, Pecky, Kate, and a little Jenna the Lennon singing the Lennon and the McCartneys, Yesterday.
Yesterday, yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away, far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. suddenly, suddenly, I'm not half the girl I used to be. There's a shadow hanging over me. Oh, yesterday came suddenly. Why he had to go, I don't know. He wouldn't say. I said something wrong. Now I long for yesterday. Yesterday, love was such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday. I believe in yesterday. I believe in yesterday.
Gosh, girls, you sound so good. Oh, you sound great. Thank you. Thank you. Now, given what we've learned in show business, we're handing the tradition on?
We are.
Yeah?
It's in the family, all of it. It's there.
Now, how many kids are we talking about? What are we talking about
have
here?
14 children among just the four of us, and then a ton of other nieces and nephews. They all sing. Every one of them can sing, and in harmony.
Little guys.
So it's just great.
Now,
It's
have
fun.
you trained them? We're going to meet the daughters now, right?
Well, we've been kind of working together because a little later on we're going to be talking about what we're going to be doing this next season, and we're going to be performing with our family.
But to training, it just comes naturally. Just like we got it from our uncles and our grandparents, all musical, all the way
and
back.
how's it going singing with your daughters? Any sort of...
It's actually really exciting. We looked at the first day and we got together and we did our humming and went, oh my gosh, it's the Lennon stereo. And it felt so good.
Well, would you girls like to introduce your daughters?
We'd love to.
I'm going to let you do it.
Okay, we'll wait till they get out here and then we'll show their little faces. Okay.
Okay, this is my daughter, Dee Dee.
And this is my daughter, Betsy.
Hi. This is my daughter, Kristen.
And this is Peggy's other daughter, Jenny, and I borrowed her today. Yeah. I started to say Jennifer, but we call her Jenny.
Now, girls, no problems at all singing with your mother?
No, you know what? It's really fun. It's been such a great experience to get to know them now that we're all sort of adults again. You know, all of us are the same, and it's kind of neat. It's like we're all adults and we're working together, and it's really, really fun.
It's fun. Now, is showbiz what you all always wanted to do?
Kind of. I wanted to be behind the scenes instead of in front, but we'll see how it goes.
Here you are, honey.
See how it goes.
Now, could you look a little more like your mom? Wait, is this like
Peggy Jr.?
This is Bourgeois Day here.
Something like that. Yes, yes.
Very strange. Now, what did you think you were going to be when you grew up? Did you know this?
No, not at all.
So you never felt that music was your destiny?
But no, not really.
What did you all think you were going to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a mother. That's why
I've been a teacher for many years, high school.
Yeah?
I wanted to be a writer, and I still may.
Yes, and?
And I wanted to be a mommy, and now I just have 13 nieces and nephews. Actually, I have 23 nieces and nephews, so I get to spoil a lot more children than just having my own.
Well, I'm going to let you girls sing now.
All right.
I can't wait to hear the stereo.
So should we line
We're
up?
going to give you a little tease, because along with this, we do a dance, but today we're just going to do a little tease of a song.
Okay, I'll be over here if you need me.
We need a starting note. Michael.
Smile big.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Fascinating rhythm, you got me on the go. Fascinating rhythm, I'm all a quiver. What a mess you're making, the neighbors want to know why I'm always shaking just like a flivver. Each morning I get up with the sun, start a hop and never stopping to find at night no work has been won't you take the day off? Run along somewhere far away off. Oh, how I long to be the girl I used to be. Fascinating rhythm, oh, won't you stop picking on me? Rhythm, rhythm, rhythm.
Oh, so good. Okay, fun?
We're going to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to find out which one of the Lennon sisters wanted to be a nun. Don't go away. We'll be back with more. Hey, everybody, call and let me know what you think about my show. And don't hold back. It's bad for your digestive system. Your comments, suggestions, and show ideas are all welcome. Just call 1-900-28-VICKI. That's 1-900-288-4254. Call costs 75 cents, and you must be at least 18 to call.
Down in the valley, Grandma used to tell, there was a chalet with a quaint old wishing well. So the little Dutch boy built the little Dutch girl a chalet on the hill. Tick-tock, goes the funny old clock, and the little old mill goes round and round and round goes the little old mill.
Sisters, one of America's most beloved musical families, living proof that if you play together, you will stay together. How long did it take you guys to put a song together? Were you on your own putting the music together?
For the Welk show?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we would just pick a song that we wanted to do that he would say, okay, we'd get home, we'd type the lyrics out. None of us read music, so we'd just like play the record.
But you were just singing along with that clip.
I know, we don't forget it.
We
don't read it. We just kind of, it just locks in almost like a computer. We would rehearse it, sing it, and that was it.
And who does what parts? You're
alto.
alto.
I'm the alto.
Peggy's the high.
I sing tenor. I sing high, and Janet and Dee Dee are.
We double lead, and then when we do 4 parts, we're all over the place.
Yes. Right at the moment when we do 4 parts, which we've done in the last 10 or 12 years mostly. Janet's husband writes our arrangements for us, and he sings them on tape.
Yeah.
And then he sends me my tape with my part, her tape with, and we listen in the car, and then we get together and sing it all. It's like,
oh. Now tell everybody what you girls are about to do now.
Oh my gosh. We're going back
really
to Branson, Missouri to perform this season.
Yeah. Are you nervous? Excited? All of the above?
What an adventure. You know, it's almost like, it's full circle. Larry Welk Jr. discovered us and brought us to his dad when he was 15 years old for the Lawrence Welk Show. Now Larry Welk Jr. has decided to build a theater in Branson, Missouri, as their other 33 performers or whatever have their theaters there, and it's going to be called the Champaign Music Theater, the Welk Resort, and has asked us to star in the show along with Joanne Castle and many of the people from the show, and we're going to be performing 6 days a week, 2 shows a day, for the rest of our lives. For a long time. It's the May through December.
May through December. Now, are we getting better than scale this time around?
Oh, yeah. You better believe it. Listen, you don't move.
Otherwise, it is going to be the rest of your life.
Right. Now, we keep saying that it's Grapes of Wrath backwards. We're going to tie Mom onto the top of the car on the rocking chair, and 47 members of the family are moving back there. But we had to go back and lease houses.
47 of you are going back?
25 this time. 25 are going back this time. We're hoping to bring the other 25 next year.
If all goes well?
Right.
Yes.
So the 4 of us will be singing in that theater, and then our daughters are going to come on and sing the thing with us and dance with us, which is just going to be great. That's fun.
Well, now what about these kids are in school, aren't they? What are you doing?
They're all out.
Everybody's graduated? There are no small children to worry about.
Well, there are in the younger brothers and sisters. The siblings have much younger children, and they're all checking into the school district and all, but the 4 of us, or the 3 of them, the children are all now out of high school and on.
But there are a lot of relocating.
There are a lot of little ones, the little ones, the 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds and whatever. The relocating, there's 25 of us going. We hope next year to have our own Lennon Sisters Family Theater and bring the other 25 back and Mom, and be able to show everybody what everybody does, you know?
Listen, now I want to know, what kind of a show are you going to do? Traditional? Because now listen, here is a little excerpt from the Washington Post I found from September 10th of 1982. And yes, this is absolutely true. This is from the Washington Post. Right.
Oh, okay.
What do you think, I'm lying here?
No, just the Washington Post.
It's actually true in a paper. But
Yeah, it was in the paper.
Okay.
The Lennon sisters take off their clothes on stage, zipped into form-fitting, side-slit sequin gowns with red corsets underneath, for heaven's sakes. The four all-American moms do a strip-tease as part of their cabaret medley.
That's true. That is true.
We had to figure out a way to change our costumes really fast.
So you did
we
it for the
decided if we
audience?
had under our gown, we were going to do a huge medley of songs from cabaret and dance and sing and stuff. And we wanted to wear little cabaret outfits. So over those, we wore these beautiful gowns, and we had to figure out how to get out of the gown into our corsets to do cabaret. So we put it to a little number, and we did a little striptease. And people really loved it. They really, really loved it. But one night we were in Vegas. And we end up the strip where the clothes are off.
Anything goes.
We're in our little corsets, and we end like this. And a lady grabbed my hand. Lady's sitting right down front. She goes, "Does your mother know you're doing this?" And Mom loved it most of all.
Yes? And you wanted to be a nun.
No,
Peggy,
she wanted to be
You
the
wanted
nun.
to be a nun?
I did, yeah. Oh, think of the peace and quiet. I think of that
you
now.
went from wanting to be a nun to having 6 children?
And doing a striptease on stage?
Yes. My life took me in a different direction. But, you know, it's funny. It was one of those things that I really wanted to have an ongoing spiritual life. And I figured, oh, only priests and nuns can do that. But you know something? We got it all of us. We got it just as much. And we can have a good, very strong spiritual life without having to do that.
Oh, we're glad you're singing and not a nun. We're glad you're not the singing nun. Peggy. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to break the gender barrier and hear from, there actually are some male members in the family. The Lennon brothers. Don't touch your clicker. You think you've had tough days? My friend Betty here died and came back and wrote this fabulous bestseller, Her Amazing Life After Death Stories, on the next Vicki.
Little darling, boom, 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 you ride a little darling, boom, boom, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, where can you be? Where can you be?
What's going on in here? What's this rock and roll stuff you're doing here?
Today we're talking about being a musical family with my guests, the Lennon sisters, and I know it's hard to believe, but really there actually are some male members to this family. Yes, I would like you to please welcome the Lennon brothers. Here are Dan, Joe, Bill, and Bill's wife, Gail. They're all accompanied on guitar by Peggy's son, Michael Cathcart, and they're going to sing Sittin' and Rockin'. Here they are. Yeah.
I don't go out walking. I ain't for no talking. My baby's gone and left me just a sitting and a rocking. Now if I had been scheming instead of just dreaming, he never would have left me just a sitting and a rocking. Now sitting all day without holding my baby, I'm feeling lonesome, Papa. If he don't hurry and come back, I'm a cinch to blow my topper. Now if I don't find him, I hope you remind him he never should have left me just a sitting and a rocking all day. I never go out walking, you never hear me talking, and I guess I'll never be the same, baby, till you return. Please act right and give me a call, and some night we will have a ball. You will
for me so. Baby, won't you please come home? 'Cause I'm sitting all day without holding my baby and feeling so lonesome, Papa. If you don't hurry and come back, I'm a cinch to blow my topper. Now if I don't find him, I hope you remind him that I'm staying where he left me, just a sitting and a rocking all day, sitting, rocking all day.
Giving you girls a run for their money. This is brother who?
Bill.
That's
Bill.
Bill. What's the dish on Bill?
Let's see, he's the third boy.
And that's my lovely wife down there. That's the dish.
He's got that's the dish.
She was kind of making eyes at him.
Yeah, I know it.
I figured they were the duo. We've separated you
We're a close
two.
family.
Yes, I gather. And this is brother.
Dan's the oldest brother. Brother Dan.
You're the old one.
I'm the old one.
Yeah.
Pretty old.
We look to him for all advice. He's the last word.
Yeah. And he just kind of takes care of us. He's just incredible.
Are you the surrogate father of this entire bunch?
Well, it's turning into that, so the whole thing in Missouri is all my fault. That's what
This is your doing. And this is brother who?
Joe.
Brother Joe.
Brother Joe.
Joe's
What's
a chiropractor.
You're a chiropractor?
I'm leaving my chiropractic practice to go sing.
What are you thinking, hon? Are you nervous?
This should be fun. No, I'm excited just to be with these guys on stage. This
and you
this is
need
what
to
we've always
crack everybody's bones at night, too.
Adjust, not crack.
Adjust. I'm terribly sorry. Now, you married into this mess.
I'm not even supposed to be here.
You have a fabulous voice. Now, where are you guys going to be performing?
At the Breakfast Theater that is part of the Welk Resort.
Oh, now are you already doing this, or is this
No, we start
starting May 6th? So we got like a fresh out of rehearsal sort of a deal here.
And the movers come Friday.
You sound great. And you're Peggy's
son.
Well, I knew you were the son, and you're the oldest, the youngest, the middlest.
I'm the youngest boy. My mom's fourth.
And looks just like your husband.
His dad. He does look like his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're just off and running down to Branson too.
Yep. Maybe next year they'll pay me.
How old are you, hon? How old are you?
20. I'll be 26 in July.
Oh, well, you look like a baby. I would have thought you were a baby.
I kind of feel like a baby.
You guys sound great.
Aren't they wonderful?
Stay where you are, because when we come back, we're going to find out which one of the sisters was Lawrence Welk's pet. Don't go away. We'll be back. She was embraced by the light and came back to tell about it. Best-selling author Betty Eadie shares her amazing life-after-death stories on the next Vicki. We're back with the Lennon sisters, and we're talking about working together and being together as a family, and off to Branson. And I want to say hi to your mommy. Okay, will you stand up? You look like a Lennon, you know that? I spotted you right away. Now, look, wait, I'm not through here. Come back, Mom. You've watched these girls go through it. Now you're watching all the younger ones go through it. Are you proud? Are you nervous? Are you... Did you ever think that this family would turn into it's sort of become a legacy, hasn't it? Did you know
I always
it?
thought so.
You always thought so? Were you responsible
I've just been waiting for people to discover how good they were.
Now, do you have a musical gene? Did it come from you?
Yes, but it's a very quiet one.
So you're not going to go off to Branson and sing with them, huh?
No, but I'll go to Branson. Visit
Good for you.
a lot.
You're going to how long have you been living in L.A.?
My whole life, 74 years.
Off to Branson. What an adventure.
Oh, yeah. New life.
Yeah, it's going to be a new life. Who's got questions? Yeah, stand up.
I was wondering if any of you ever wanted to go solo during the time when you were together.
Oh, I know. Kathy, didn't you talk about going solo, or?
Actually, I had other people tell me that it would be nice if, that because I do, I guess, a lot more of the solo work per se, but actually, it's so much more fun to be together. It would be really scary to be alone. So I don't think any of us ever dreamed or wanted to be alone.
We like being bookends.
Yeah, having bookends all the time.
And I can't think of anything more fun than doing harmony. I mean, that's my fantasy in life. Who had questions here? Yeah, stand up.
I was wondering, when you were kids, did you have any other childhood playmates besides those on the set, on the TV set?
Well, we had such a big family that pretty much our favorite playmates were each other. But we all had friends up and down the block, and just normally we went to normal schools. We didn't go to professional schools, and we had, you know, just regular high school friends all the way through.
Because on the Lawrence Welk show, when we were little, we were the only children on the show. So it wasn't like there was a lot of children on the show. It wasn't until much later that there were some younger people that came on the show.
And they worked the show around our schedule. So we had music rehearsal on Thursday afternoons after school, production rehearsal at the studio Fridays after school, and the show had to be live in New York at 6 o'clock on Saturday. So after 7 o'clock at night on a Saturday, our dates would pick us up at the studio, and we'd go out to the football game or whatever.
And then after you were married, you'd do the show and then go home and change dirty diapers.
Yes, absolutely. So even before we were married, we'd come home and change the little ones' diapers and dishes. And
is it true, Janet, that you were Lawrence Welk's pet?
Well, probably. We danced a mean polka together. And when I was so little when we started dancing together that I used to put my hand on his rear end and dance with him. I just couldn't get it up any higher.
We have a clip of you actually with your hand on Mr. Welk's rear end. Well, I don't know. I don't know if that. Let's take a look at you dancing. The Lennon sisters. For tickets to Vicki, please send a self-addressed stamped envelope to NBC Tickets, Vicki, 3000 West Alameda Avenue, Burbank, California, 91523. Guests today, the Lennon sisters, Peggy, Janet, Dee Dee, and Kathy, for bringing us their wonderful family. Who is out here that we have not yet met?
Our two youngest sisters, Mimi and Annie, and our brother Pat and our brother Kip, who are in a group called Venice, who sing, and we're all singers and want you to join us.
And you're all going to be down at the Lawrence Welk Champagne Theater in Branson, Missouri in May. Go catch them there. The Lennons are now going to sing us out with America the Beautiful. We love you guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Oh, beautiful.